Alright guys, I'm back with an update on the Cody Ko situation I talked about in my video last week. Check that out if you haven't, by the way. We've still got radio silence from Cody, but who can blame the guy? He's got such important DJ gigs to attend. However, his podcast studio, TMG Studios, has finally made an official announcement. The long delay was no doubt the result of a lot of lawyers working overtime on behalf of both Cody and the company. And of course, it was released on the TMG Studios app, so it was effectively hidden behind a paywall. Now, it's not an apology, it's an internal memo, signed by Cody and Noel, I'm sure, okay, sent to their employees that they felt it was important to share with the public, or those who subscribe to their app. So let's talk about this memo, and what exactly it means for the future of TMG Studios and all of its employees. First of all, let's look through the letter. It starts off by acknowledging just how long it took this memo to even come out, but they say it's been a strenuous few weeks, which I have no doubt that it has been, right? But the big bombshell comes in the third paragraph. It reads as follows. As we enter into this next phase of the studio, we wanted to let you know that Cody will not be involved in the day-to-day operations at TMG Studios. What has transpired over the past few weeks is a personal issue for him, and Cody wants to remove any effect this is having on your professional and personal lives and the work you and our other hosts have done to make TMG Studios so successful. The rest of the letter goes on to say that Noel Miller, the other half of their flagship Tiny Meat Gang podcast, will continue to lead the way forward. Now on the surface, this might read as a peaceful transition of power, a disgraced figurehead gracefully and selflessly stepping down as his final act. But I read this and I get a different vibe. This next bit is pretty heavy speculation, but I feel like it's important to take a look at the wording of the memo itself. See, crucially, the memo states that Cody will be stepping away from day-to-day operations, not the company entirely. TMG Studios isn't some rinky-dink operation anymore. It's a business with investors and employees, and Cody Ko has always been a businessman first, content creator second. Cody can't simply be forced to leave because the others don't want him around. He more than likely has a significant financial stake in the company and would need to be bought out. I imagine most of the time between this story breaking and this announcement being made has been spent with TMG Studio lawyers and even investors battling it out with Cody's team to arrange a buyout. Given he's only been removed from day-to-day responsibilities, I can assume that was unsuccessful. Either because the other parties involved couldn't pull enough resources to meet his asking price and he refused to sell below market value, or he refused to sell at all, wanting to continue to profit off the brand, and only agreeing to step down at all when he realized him remaining in his public-facing role would hurt his bottom line as a shareholder. Again, I could have a completely incorrect idea of their corporate structure in my head, but it seems to me like this is the underlying meaning behind this memo. The memo also states that Cody Ko is stepping down to remove any effect this is having on the professional and personal lives of his co-workers. It's no secret that everyone who works for Cody or has a relationship with Cody has been catching strays since this news broke. Even people like Brittany Broski, Jarvis Johnson, and Jordan Adika have felt pressured to release statements regarding the issue. But I really don't think this move is going to take any of that pressure off. Because Cody Ko still hasn't apologized, and it's looking like he never will. Either out of pure cowardice, or in a selfish bid to not jeopardize his US citizenship application status, at the expense of Tana Mojo. And like I mentioned already, Cody will stand to profit from whatever subscriber base his employees manage to retain and acquire as their shows continue. Sure, they're doing their best to conceal that, because it seems like the rest of TMG Studios, to me, is unable to do anything about that. But I don't think people are going to be in any hurry to hand their money over to any production when they know that any part of that money is going back to Cody Ko. If he truly wanted to do right by people like Connor Wood, Brooke Averick, Zach Piona, Waleed Mohammed, and all the other employees at TMG Studios, he would walk away entirely. Either make a statement and spare these people the hassle of being asked to do it for you, or step away and allow these people to continue their careers without your name looming over everything that they do. But right now, it doesn't look like any of that is going to happen. So what does this mean for the future of TMG Studios itself? I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I would say that the Tiny Meat Gang podcast has probably aired its last episode, fittingly titled The Final Firework. Noel Miller would need to find a new co-host, or I suppose just cycle through guests every week. But the way he's been prioritizing his live stand-up over YouTube these past couple months honestly makes me feel like he might not even bother with that. And I'm really sad to see the show go because I was such a huge fan of what they had going. I listened to just about every episode until about a year ago when I skipped a week and never really got back into it. Which, by the way, sidebar, I want to address the revisionists who are now saying that the show was never good and that Cody Ko was the weak link. Alright, relax. Cody did a bad thing and his response since has been terrible, but that doesn't mean that what Cody and Noel had going for them wasn't amazing in its prime. Isn't that why we're all so upset about this in the first place? Anyway, on to the rest of the shows on the network. A few have already found their own homes elsewhere. Ben Kahn and Emil DeRosa, formerly of the Trillionaire Mindset podcast, and now co-hosts of the Ben and Emil show, split off during a contract dispute between them and TMG Studios that, surprise, surprise, Cody and Noel never addressed. Emergency Intercom, a show that TMG acquired the rights to well after I stopped paying for my subscription, has since returned to independent production less than 2 months into their run with the network. Stretch and Fade, a podcast featuring Meat Canyon and Noel Miller, has wrapped up already. It's done. And Insanely Chill is a podcast hosted by Cody Ko and a number of other producers. So it's curtains for that one as well. That leaves Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast and the Zach and Waleed Show. Personally, I'm a big fan of Brooke Averick and Connor Wood. I love what they do. I love their vibe. I think it's a shame that they got caught up in all this because I think they had a really good thing going. But I also think they have a large enough following to survive on their own. Who I'm most concerned for is Zach Piona and Waleed Muhammad. Their podcast channel on YouTube has just under 6,000 subscribers, and their episodes average about half of that in viewership. For a podcast that has already had to change their main theme from sports to more general interest topics, I'm concerned that a potential boycott or studio collapse would be catastrophic for their show. The worst part of all this is, I don't really know how we can help. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to stop supporting these creators just because a little bit of the revenue that they generate will go back to Cody Ko. That wouldn't be fair to them, and I think that they do good work. So if you're a fan of Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast or the Zach and Waleed Show, please continue showing support for them. But like I said, any support you give to these shows will be supporting Cody Ko in some capacity. And if I learned anything from the Trillionaire Mindset debacle, it's that these contracts that the remaining creators have with TMG Studios may extend for long periods of time, and they probably are pretty restrictive. So if you're already a fan of these podcasts, I would suggest you continue to support them, given that they're going through a very tough time in their professional careers that is of no fault of their own. Something else I would suggest would be to subscribe to their personal social media channels and be on the lookout for any independent projects they may advertise. I know Connor Wood is currently on a stand-up comedy tour, so check that out if you can. As for TMG Studios as a whole, I just don't know if they can survive this. At time of writing, they've gone a full 2 weeks without releasing any content to their paying subscribers. I've seen a number of people request refunds and be awarded them. Their flagship show has lost its objectively more popular co-host, and they've now discontinued 6 of the 10 shows they've ever run on the network. 7 if Tiny Meat Gang doesn't continue. I just don't know how you come back from that. But if this really is the end, I mean, they had a historic run. They founded a platform that I haven't seen anything like since Barstool Sports sprung up like 10 plus years ago. I really did enjoy a lot of the things that TMG Studios put out, and I'm sad to see it go out like this so suddenly. I hate that Cody Ko has put the creators and the employees of TMG Studios in this position, and I hate that he continues to leave us without answers. But for now, I'm over it, and I'm moving on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited that we have so many new faces around the channel. Your comments have really warmed my heart, and your support has been a big part of the reason why I still have motivation to continue posting content. So thank you so much for that. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know your prediction for the future of TMG Studios down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.